Behind every legend lies a reason. This is Myth and Motive.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Pakistan, a country located in South Asia, is a land rich in history and cultural diversity, with unique characteristics and distinct appeal. Although often mentioned as a land of terrorism, it was once the hiding place of the notorious Osama bin Laden. With majestic, from the Himalayan mountains to the beaches along the Arabian coast, Pakistan appears as a convergence point between tradition and modernity, between cultural heritage and promising economic development. Notably, this place also impresses with its unconventional customs, where men can freely exchange wives. There are many more interesting things you may not know about this country, which will be revealed in today's video. Please enjoy. Pakistan is an Islamic country in the South Asia region, bordered to the south by the Arabian Sea and the Gulf of Oman, with a coastline of about 1,046 kilometers, to the west by Afghanistan and Iran, to the east by India, and the extreme north by China. Pakistan has an area of 881,640 square kilometers, roughly equivalent to the combined area of the eastern regions of the country lie on the Indian tectonic plate, while the western and northern regions are on the Iranian plateau and the Eurasian continent. Pakistan also has 4 seasons like Vietnam: a cold and dry winter from December to February, a hot and dry spring from March to May, a rainy summer, also known as the southwest monsoon period from June to September, and the retreating monsoon period from October to November. The onset and progression of these seasons varies slightly depending on the location. Although not very old in age, Pakistan has a complex past with many things that may surprise us. The feud with India and the largest migration disaster in history. During World War II, the United Kingdom promised to grant independence to India in exchange for Indian participation in the war. After the war, the British economy was severely damaged, and maintaining colonies in India became a burden. British Prime Minister Clement Attlee was forced to announce withdrawal from India, scheduled for June 1948. However, the fate after independence for about 390 million Indians was still on the negotiation table between Britain and the parties representing the religions in India. For centuries, the 3 main religions in India, Hinduism, Islam, and Sikhism, coexisted under British rule. But before independence, Muslims, represented by the Muslim League, led by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, fought strongly to separate and form their own country, Pakistan. Nehru, the leader of the Indian National Congress, firmly held the view that religions would coexist in a unified nation. A compromise was proposed, in which Pakistan would have significant power in a federated India. But it was not accepted by Nehru. Beneath the surface of harmony, Muslims always faced discrimination from Hindus. After months of tension, on August 16, 1946, Jinnah called for a nationwide strike by Muslims in India to demand separation. Riots soon erupted across the city, culminating in a bloody week historically known as the Great Calcutta Killings, which claimed 5,000 lives. The violence spread to nearby Noakhali, where Muslim gangs massacred thousands of Hindus, and rumors circulated of Hindu attacks. Later in Bihar, Hindu gangs massacred thousands of Muslims upon hearing that their people had been abducted. Abductions, forced marriages of women, arson, and forced conversions were the horrific crimes committed by both sides in these massacres. In 1947, Muslims attacked and overwhelmed Sikhs in Punjab. Amidst the violence in villages, with 100 people killed daily, Governor General Louis Mountbatten replaced Governor General Wavell in February 1947. But in June 1947, to avoid responsibility for this massacre, Mountbatten decided to advance India's independence date by nearly a year, to August 15, 1947, instead of June 1948 as originally planned. Mountbatten and the parties were also forced to agree to divide India into 2 countries. Accordingly, provinces with a Muslim majority would belong to Pakistan, while provinces with a Hindu majority would belong to India. The provinces of Punjab and Bengal would be split in 2, and the boundaries were yet to be decided. On August 14 to 15, 1947, Pakistan and India declared independence respectively, without clear territorial boundaries, and for millions, the nightmare continued. On August 18, 1947, when the borders were announced, they had to abandon their property, homes, and flee from their ancestral lands. Muslims fled to Pakistan, while Hindus and Sikhs went to India.
Throughout August to September 1947, refugees formed massive walking columns stretching for kilometers.
Diseases ran rampant. Abandoned children crawled on both sides of the road, while others were evacuated by migrant trains between India and Pakistan. They were so overcrowded that refugees clung to the sides and tops of the train cars. In the following months, about 15 million people crossed the border, with approximately 1 million losing their lives.
According to various estimates, tens of thousands of women were abducted and raped,
and thousands suffered in refugee camps
because their homelands
suddenly fell within the territory of another religion.
The hastily drawn border in 1947 was the cause of 3 wars.
Decades of hostility between India and Pakistan, and traumatic memories for a generation of Indians.
And more than 70 years later, the two sides have still never agreed on the boundary line in the Jammu and Kashmir region.
A frequent flashpoint between the two South Asian nations.
Men can exchange wives, assigning wives to another man's household.
Perhaps in the world, Asia, especially the southern part of the continent,
is a place where many strange tribes exist with many distinct and equally peculiar cultures. And if previously we were horrified by the marriage customs of a tribe in Tibet, where women were required to have intimate experience with 20 men before being allowed to marry,
then this tribe located between Indian and Pakistani territory also surprises many with its custom where men are free to exchange wives or where people are allowed to passionately hug and kiss in public.
The tribe with the strange custom mentioned here is the Japa, a small tribe of about 2,500 people, living in the Gahanu Valley in the Ladakh region between Jammu and Kashmir, the disputed border area between India and Pakistan.
This tribe has a very distinctive appearance, completely different from the Ladakhi and Tibetan people, also living in Ladakh, in terms of looks, culture, language, and even social organization.
Accordingly, Japa women have elegant faces, high noses, deep-set eyes, and thick hair and eyebrows.
Japa men have thick lips, high noses, very bushy eyebrows, and characteristic. Additionally, the residents of this tribe have a very tall and slender stature.
The Japa tribe maintains a very puzzling custom. Men in Japa are allowed to exchange wives with each other freely without facing any opposition from others in the tribe. They even bargain with each other before making the exchange, and the wives have no right to speak up. This somewhat demonstrates the status of women in the Japa tribe is not considered important. If not to say they are somewhat disadvantaged compared to women in other countries around the world. They must obey their husbands to go and live as wives. This naturally includes intimate relations with a strange man. Previously, some wives were even sent by their husbands to another man's house for weeks, while that man's wife would come to their house, taking their place to perform wifely duties, including sleeping with their husband. Additionally, since ancient times, the Japa people have had a tradition of kissing publicly in crowds. Accordingly, on special occasions, Japa men and women line up and then freely kiss each other passionately. Hotly, they can even engage physically without caring about the marital status of the person they're kissing. Does he have a wife or not? Does she have a husband or not? No one cares. Faced with questions like whether Japa people feel ashamed kissing a stranger publicly in a crowd? Or do they think their tribe's wife-swapping custom violates global moral and legal standards? Most Japa people calmly answer that it is part of their culture and it deserves to be respected and preserved. Drive from Pakistan.
This is the cradle of cheap weapons manufacturing activity in Pakistan,
with incredibly skilled craftsmen, said to be able to produce even F-16s and nuclear weapons. Throughout its long history, this town has always played the role of main weapons supplier for the many tribal peoples living along the Pakistan-Afghanistan border. Gunsmiths in Dara are famous worldwide. It is rumored that if you give a gunsmith here a brand new gun he has never seen in his life, it will be copied within 10 days.
Once the first copy is made, subsequent copies will take only 2 to 3 days.
The gun-making workshops in Dara may be rudimentary, but the gunsmiths here possess top-notch skills.
They are said to be able to accurately copy grenades, rifles, sniper rifles, handguns for assassination, and even anti-aircraft guns. The copies are made so meticulously that they have serial numbers identical to the originals. Every day, gunsmiths in Dara produce up to 400 guns of various types. They are sold in the town's main market at quite cheap prices. The price of a genuine M5 can reach several thousand US dollars, but here it costs only 7,000 rupees, which is about 6 to 7, with a 1-year warranty. An AK produced in Dara costs only 125 US dollars, which is even cheaper than a mobile phone here. No one knows exactly when gun manufacturing activity in Dara began, but locals affirm that the tradition of repairing and making guns was passed down to them by a British Army deserter around 1857. The local tribesmen, who have always been passionate about firearms, could not be happier to acquire the skills of a gunsmith. And in a short time, Dara Adam Kell became the center of illicit gun manufacturing. The golden years here began after 1980 when the Russians invaded Afghanistan. The demand for weapons surged, and nowhere else sold guns to Afghans as cheaply as Dara. In April 1988, a large arms depot in Rawalpindi, used to store weapons supplied by the US and Saudi Arabia to Afghan fighters, exploded. The entire ammunition dump, known as the OJHRI camp, went up in flames in the incident that killed dozens. At its peak, Dara attracted many skilled craftsmen. The weapon shops in Dara were filled with all kinds of firearms, large and small, including anti-aircraft guns and RPG-7 anti-tank weapons. Bullets were piled high in large crates. Customers could buy freely, with no limits on quantity or type of weapon, as long as they had the money. Along the town of Dara, the constant sound of gunfire from customers testing weapons indicated thriving business. It's no exaggeration to say that gunfire brought joy to the local craftsmen. However, after the Pakistani authorities discovered that terrorists were using weapons from Dara, they cracked down. Workshops in the town were banned from producing heavy weapons, on the grounds that they were only used to serve terrorism. The most breathtaking yet terrifying road in the world, Fairy Meadows, is one of Pakistan's most famous landmarks. With its majestic natural scenery, home to Nanga Parbat, the world's ninth highest peak at 8,126 meters, reaching here is no easy task. First, tourists must travel by jeep along a perilous and extremely rugged road, clinging to cliff edges, with many sections only wide enough for one vehicle. Whenever an oncoming vehicle is spotted, drivers must wait at a spot wide enough for the other to pass. In some sections, tourists feel as if the wheels are about to roll off a rocky path. Only a few with specialized licenses are allowed to drive on this route. Many road sections are built with stones precariously perched between cliffs. Constructing this connecting road was a remarkable feat by the local people. Jeeps can only take tourists to the base of the mountain. From there, there are two ways to reach Fairy Meadows, which sits at over 3,300 meters. First, tourists can choose to hike for about 4 to 5 hours or hire horses at the base to climb up. The ascent is quite strenuous, requiring navigation of steep slopes and thin air. But in return, tourists can feast their eyes on the stunning scenery along the way. Layers of snow-capped mountains, interspersed with pine forests stretching in the sunlight. At around 3,000 meters, snow begins to appear on both sides of the road, and the air grows colder. This is a place not everyone can conquer due to the harsh climate and difficult travel conditions. However, many adventure enthusiasts still choose this route as a must-visit destination. 5. Once the hiding place of terrorist Osama bin Laden. After the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks, the Al-Qaeda leader was intensely hunted and had to hide in various areas, in Afghanistan and Pakistan. In 2004, bin Laden ordered a subordinate to buy a plot of land in Abbottabad, Pakistan, to build a hideout. Bodyguard Ibrahim Saeed Ahmed al-Kuwaiti purchased a piece of land for $50,000 to build a 3-story house. The first and second floors had 4 bedrooms, each with its own. The top floor was reserved for bin Laden, with a bedroom, bathroom, study, and a balcony enclosed by high walls. The terrorist family moved into this place in 2005. Members included 3 wives, 8 children, and 4 grandchildren. It wasn't until August 2010 that CIA intelligence discovered a suspicious person believed to be the bodyguard Ibrahim in Peshawar city and tracked his movements to a house with many suspicious features. Surrounding the building was a wall over 5 meters high with barbed wire on top. The building had no telephone or internet lines, even though the owner clearly had the means to use such amenities. The main building had only a few windows, and the balcony on the top floor was surrounded by a high wall. In a meeting, CIA Director Leon Panetta questioned why someone would build a wall around an indoor courtyard like that. After surveillance, the CIA discovered that the occupants often burned their trash, while neighbors left theirs outside for collection. Inside the large compound was a garden growing apples, vegetables, grapes, beehives, chickens, and cows. The final clue was the amount of laundry hung outside daily. And children. Traditional Pakistani men's attire, more than what a bodyguard's family could wear. The CIA estimated that there must be one man, several women, and at least 9 children in the house. On December 14, 2010, CIA Director Panetta presented the evidence to President Barack Obama. Although agents could not find images that clearly identified bin Laden hiding in the house, they also found no more convincing evidence to rule out the possibility. President Obama was convinced and ordered the U.S. Navy to plan. On May 1, 2011, U.S. Special Forces raided the hideout and killed Osama bin Laden. Trucks are like mobile art galleries. In the 1970s, American and European tourists returned home with photos of brightly painted trucks and buses traveling the streets of Pakistan. In the late 1980s, the Pakistani government and independent investors began organizing exhibitions abroad. Since then, Pakistan's distinctive folk art has become increasingly well-known. Looking at a vehicle, you can recognize the unique historical and cultural characteristics of each region in Pakistan. This tradition originated in the 1940s, when Sikh drivers began painting portraits of gurus and religious figures on their vehicles to show reverence and pray for safety. Later, they added images like landscapes, winged horses, peacocks, fish, and flowers. Drivers spent time decorating their beloved vehicles as elaborately as preparing a bride for a wedding. Wooden doors are also intricately carved with every detail. Bruce Lee was one of the first cinematic icons painted on trucks in Pakistan. The image of a bright-eyed, sharp-faced young man brought a fresh breeze to a country full of sun, wind, dust, mountains, and glaciers. Followed by Princess Diana and a series of famous figures, moving across roads under the delighted eyes of locals and tourists. Above the hood, a roof extends forward like a wooden porch. From there, across all surfaces, the artists freely create and soar with their souls. Circular patterns, white borders, red centers, flowers, and plants dominate with a variety of colors. At first glance, it may seem busy, but side mirrors are often painted and in the southern Sindh region, decorations made from camel horns are also very popular. Around the truck bed or front bumper, many bells and clusters of strings are hung neatly. When moving, the jingling sounds and bunches of nylon or fabric fluttering in the wind make the vehicle more lively. The fame of truck art has spread beyond Pakistan's borders. The fashion house Dolce & Gabbana once used them in their designs. In 2015, at their show, a tractor trailer painted in truck art style in Milan, Italy served as a backdrop for their collections. In 2006, a trend in Australia with this style also attracted a lot of attention from locals. In a Muslim country like Pakistan, attacks and sexual abuse of women are quite common. When using public transport, women often become victims of misbehavior. In response to this situation, newly introduced pink buses have provided them with a safe space. The only man on the bus is the driver. Previously, Pakistani women always felt fearful while waiting for the bus. In Karachi, taking the bus almost certainly meant being harassed by men. But now, they have a new option: traveling on pink buses exclusively for women. This is a service launched in 2023. As a working woman, So, I think the pink bus is a great initiative by the government to help women travel safely. There are over 30 pink buses operating in Karachi. They run every 20 minutes and cover many routes across the city. Unlike regular buses, they are clean, air-conditioned, and passengers usually have seats.
Although the fare is slightly higher than regular buses, the cost is well worth it. Even the ticket inspector is a woman.
Karachi is one of the places with the highest crime rates in the country. Last year, there were over 140 street crimes per day in the city, and the victims were often women traveling alone.
That is the main reason why Pakistan's Ministry of Transport launched this service. The pink buses have made life easier for many Pakistani women. Pakistan plans to expand this bus model to more cities. Brides are not allowed to smile on their wedding day. Even though it's a happy occasion, Pakistani brides must always wear a sorrowful, mournful expression. The sadder, the more respected.
Pakistanis believe that during the wedding ceremony, the bride
Instead, the more she shows grief, the better, as it reflects the girl's good character, shown she misses her birth parents and family. Getting married means they can no longer stay to care for their parents or help the family as much.
Wedding customs in Pakistan also contain many peculiarities.
5 days before the wedding ceremony,
the bride must be bathed thoroughly once. Afterward, she is adorned splendidly by friends and relatives, and the bride has intricate patterns painted all over her hands and feet to express her happiness.
Weddings should be joyous occasions, but in Pakistan, they're becoming a burden for many families, as the costs exceed their financial capabilities.
A traditional wedding in Pakistan typically lasts 4 days with numerous activities.
This event consumes a lot of money on food, clothing, and even jewelry for the bride's dowry. All of this is borne by the bride's family. To afford a lavish wedding, most middle-class families in Pakistan start saving money when their daughters are just 11 or 12 years old. Extravagant weddings have added to the burden of many families in Pakistan. Therefore, many Pakistanis hope for a change so that weddings can bring real joy and happiness to everyone. Although young and facing many instabilities, Pakistan is demonstrating its determination and daily efforts.
Traditional cultural values, combined with an innovative spirit, will continue to be the driving force for Pakistan to move forward into the future.
This video ends here. Thank you all for your support. Don.
Subscribe to the Gian Ego channel to not miss exciting videos.
If the legend hooked you, subscribe and open the next case.